Welcome, I'm Gina, and today we're going to do some bed yoga. There are times when you're just too tired to get on your mat, or there are times when maybe you wake up and you want to reach for your device, or you don't want to get out of bed at all. And there are some yoga poses that we can do right when we first wake up to set ourselves up for a great day. Maybe get rid of some of the tension and tightness that can be in our muscles when we first wake up, and just get the blood flowing and get us ready to get out from under the covers and face whatever the day has to offer. So I'll invite you to start in a shavasana. So reclining relaxation pose. Fine to have a pillow under your head if you like, or you can be just flat on the mat. It's really up to you. And we'll start by just observing, what does it feel like to be in this pose. We like to have the heels in and the toes out. So if that's comfortable and possible, that's great. And palms facing up right next to your body. Again, if that's not comfortable, find a position that works for you. I'm offering suggestions, and if that's not what your body needs today, then find the pose that feels the best. No pain in yoga, no discomfort. Stretching is okay, but pain definitely not. And then if you like, you can close your eyes and feel the mat or the bed, whatever is underneath you, feel it doing the work. You can just sink and melt your body into what is underneath, feeling the back of the hands and the arms, feeling where the back touches the earth, where the heels touch the earth, and where the head touches the earth. Sometimes there's a tendency to tuck the chin, but see if you can raise the chin up a little bit so that the back of the head is what's touching the earth beneath you. And then we'll come to the breath. You can take some big breaths and let them out the mouth. Maybe with a sigh. Inhaling, filling the belly and the lungs. And exhale out with a sigh. And one more just like that. And then coming into this breath, feeling the belly rise on the inhale and sink on the exhale. You can even put your hands right on the belly if that helps. Inhale, belly rise. And exhale, belly falls. This is a great place to set an intention for your day. So it could be an emotion that you want to cultivate. I'm going to bring joy into everything I do today, or patience with myself. I'm going to see things as an opportunity. It could be that I'm going to be nice to people in my life, or I'm going to be kind with whatever comes my way for myself and others. And then send that intention out into the universe. Let the universe conspire to help make it so. And then if your eyes are closed, we can generate some heat, some friction by rubbing the palms together, and then covering the palms with the eyes, blinking the eyes open gently so that the light comes in slowly. Maybe you just give yourself a little facial massage right around the eyebrows to the temples, maybe the jaw, Whatever feels good to you. Maybe you tap the cheeks or tap the forehead or massage the hairline or the scalp. And then try pulling on the earlobes gently and pulling on the ears a little bit, just gently away from the head, giving yourself a little bit of waking up in the ears. Maybe you uncurl the ears at the top, warming them up, bringing a little blood into the ears. Nice. And then we'll just gently turn the head to face one direction and feel that stretch nice and gently in the neck. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, belly rise. And exhale, belly falls. And then slowly bringing the head back to neutral. And then turning the other direction to feel the stretch on the opposite side of the neck. No need to be rough or no need to go 100% or be really intense about these stretches. Let it be easy. Let the stretch happen to you. So more than forcing it, we're just allowing it. And then at the end of your next breath, bring the head back to neutral. Bringing the hands together, interlocking the fingers, crossing the thumbs, and just bringing a bit of movement into the hands and wrists. This can be a place where there's a lot of pops or clicks or cracks. That's fine. There's no harm as long as there's no pain. So if you feel the cartilage moving, that's okay. If you feel a sharp pain, stop what you're doing, take a break, maybe give yourself a little massage, and come back in slowly and gently, only if it feels good to you. And then we can stretch the fingertips back away from the wrist. We're using the opposite hand. Bring the fingertips towards the wrist. And just shake it out on that side, and we'll do the same on the other, bending the fingertips away for a few breaths. And then bringing the fingertips towards the wrist the other direction. And shake it out, shake it out. Then we'll experiment with the length of the legs and how the body feels. Start with the right. Imagine stretching your right leg so that it is longer than your left leg, pointing the toes, stretching the hip away, stretching the leg away. And maybe it moves and maybe it doesn't move hardly at all or it's imperceptible. And then we'll switch, letting go of the tension in the right leg and stretching the left leg down, pointing those toes, imagining the left leg getting really long. And then switching again, bringing the right leg, engaging, pointing the toes, stretching that away. And then stretching the left leg away, pointing those toes. And maybe we point and flex both feet here And remember, even if you're not getting a lot of movement, simply thinking about the movement in the legs, thinking about pointing and flexing the toes, that's still stimulating the neural pathways. So even if there's not a lot or any movement, you're still receiving benefits by visualizing, thinking deeply about that body part. Lovely. And then we'll come into the hips and we'll just think about tipping the hips forward and back. So tipping the hips, creating a gap underneath the low back, and then tipping the hips the other way, pressing the low back into the ground beneath you. So tipping the hips forward, feeling that gap underneath, and then pressing the low back into the ground and eliminating that gap. And then just rocking the hips back and forth as you see fit. You can match it to your breath, inhaling and exhaling. These don't need to be fast. And they don't need to be huge. These are just little movements to wake up the body, wake up the joints. And then at the end of your next exhale, come back into a neutral spine, and we'll bring the right leg up slowly, slowly, slowly until the foot is on the bed. And you can always use your hand to help if it doesn't want to move on its own. We'll press into the right foot, feel that activation. Imagine pinching the sheets or your mat with the toes and then releasing them down. Pinching the mat with the right toes, like scrunching them up and then release. And we'll do one more like that. Imagine picking up the bed sheet with your toes, or as if you were going to pick something up off the ground, and then drop it. And then we'll bring the leg up even higher. So you can grab either underneath the thigh, that might be enough, or you might grab on top of the knee. And we are looking for a slight pinch in the hip, not pain, just a nice stretch in the hip. So imagine bringing the knee towards the shoulder. And sometimes there's a tendency that the knee might come in or go out a lot. So think about keeping that nice center line so that the knee is coming towards the shoulder and the toes are in line with the knee. And we can do some ankle circles here in one direction and then the other direction. And again, if the ankle doesn't want to give you a big range of motion, just thinking about it. So even if the motion is very, very, very slight, just thinking about the ankle, thinking about moving it is still benefiting those neural pathways. The more you think, the more you do, the broader the range of motion. All right, give your knee one extra squeeze here. And then we're going to come into a twist, bringing the right knee over to the left side of the body. You might need to move the hips a little bit. And again, this is an allowing exercise. The knee might be really far away from the bed. That's fine. Mine is right now. We get a little more flexible and a little more bendy over the course of the day. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to look a certain way or get into a certain shape. We're just feeling the stretch, maybe in the hip, in the back, thinking about bringing that right shoulder back down towards the earth. You can have a cactus arm, you can reach the arm out, or you can have the arm by your side. And if you like, you can turn the head with this one and look the opposite direction from your knee. That's totally optional. It's up to you. If that feels good in your back and your neck, you can try it. And if it doesn't, you can have a neutral neck, just looking straight up at the ceiling. Nice. And then we'll slowly make our way out of the twist, bringing the knee back up, and then sliding the foot away from you. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. So first, bringing the foot up to be flat on the mat or the bed, so the knees pointing up towards the ceiling, and then pressing into that foot, engaging the left leg, and then engaging the toes as if you're going to pick up the bed sheet and then let it go. And engage the toes as if you're going to pick something up with the bottom of your feet and let it go. And we'll do one more like that, engaging the left toes and let it go. And then we'll do our hip stretch on this side. So again, your hands could go behind the thigh or on top of the shin, or you could use a strap here if that helps. And we're just looking for just a gentle stretch, a little pinch in the hip, no pain. Keeping the knee angled towards the shoulder, the foot in front of the knee. And if you like, you can do some ankle circles here in one direction and then the other direction. And again, if they're small, that's fine. Simply thinking about the foot, simply focusing your attention on the muscles helps the nerves fire. I will give one extra squeeze to the left side, and then we'll come over towards the right, doing the twist on the opposite side. And again, you can stay here, you can keep your gaze up towards the ceiling, or you can look away opposite of your knee and feel the stretch in the neck, the back. We're twisting. Imagine keeping the shoulders as flat as possible and allowing yourself to sink into the mat. Let the mat do the work. Let gravity do the work. I have my right hand on my left outer thigh. That's fine. It's just kind of resting there to keep things in place. We don't recommend pressing into the joint itself, so either below the knee or above the knee, but not right on the knee. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly, when you're ready, bring your gaze up towards the ceiling if it was over to the side. And we'll untwist, bringing the knee back up. And this time we're going to bring the right knee up to meet it. We'll start just by windshield wipering the knees, one side and the other side. Just gently putting some movement into the hips. You might go all the way down, you might go halfway down. It really doesn't matter. We're just seeing what feels good in your body today, because we are a different body every day. As much as we like to think we are consistent, really it is just the joy of the beginner's mind to say, what will my body bring to me today? It may be the same as yesterday, but more than likely it'll be something slightly different. All right, let's bring the knees up, and this time we're going to give ourselves a big bear hug. So you can grab behind the thighs, or you can grab on top of the knees. You can grab for opposite wrists, or you can grab for opposite elbows. You can use a strap here. And instead of thinking about pulling the knees towards the chest, think about making the back nice and flat on the surface beneath you. So kind of like when we were doing those pelvis tilts, imagine lengthening the spine, imagining allowing the curve of the back to flatten against the bed. And just breathe here. Again, we're just allowing the stretch to occur. We're doing kind of minimal work to we're not really pushing ourselves, I guess. We're just allowing the stretch to happen. And then on the end of your next exhale, we'll let go of the hands and we'll do some knee circles this time. We windshield wipers back and forth. This is a little bit of a balance test for some people. So go nice and slow, circling the knees in one direction, coming up towards the chest and then over to the side and away from you. And then we'll switch and we'll rotate the knees in the other direction, coming to the side, close to the chest, to the other side, and away. Once you feel like that is a sufficient amount of circles, we can set the legs back down, extend the legs out. We'll stretch the toes away and the arms up overhead. And maybe we'll come back to reaching the right arm away and the right leg away. And then relaxing on that side, releasing and letting the left arm stretch away and the left leg stretch away. And we can switch back and forth, right and left. Reaching with the right and reaching with the left. And then we'll take stock here. Come back to the breath. Inhale, let the belly rise. Exhale, let the belly sink. Inhale, belly rise. And exhale, belly falls. Lovely. All right, we are going to rotate our bodies. So come on to your side. Great. And we can bend the knees here. We're just going to do a few clamshells. So opening up the knee any amount and bringing it back, bringing the knees back together. Make it precise more than make it big. Opening up. Bring the left knee for me up and then let the knees kiss together. And we'll do one more like this, opening the knees up and then bring them back together. It's harder than it looks, and the slower you do it, sometimes the harder it can be. Nice. All right, so from here, we're going to do a quad stretch. You might want a strap if reaching for the ankle is tough. Otherwise, we're going to grab for me, this is the left ankle. I'm just going to do a gentle quad stretch. It doesn't really matter if the right leg can be straight or the right leg can be bent. Really nice and gentle. I'm pulling back on my left calf, feeling the stretch in the left quad, breathing into it. And then releasing on the left, feeling if there's any difference on the left side and the right side. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So feel free to roll over. I'm going to swap so I'm still facing you. And we'll start with the knees bent, ankles over the ankles, knees over the knee. And we'll start with those clamshells, really slowly and carefully, deliberately opening the knees and then bringing them back together, opening them up and bringing them back together. And one more, open and close. And from here, we'll reach back towards the right ankle. And again, you can use a strap if you need to. The left leg can be straight or it can be bent. And we're going to look for a gentle quad stretch on this side by pulling the ankle gently towards the bum, stretching the knee away, and focusing on the breath. Nice, slow, gentle, in and out through the nose. Lovely. And then do a release here. And we'll come back to lie on the back with the feet touching the earth and the knees pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to do some gentle bridges. So before we were just tipping the pelvis. This time we're going to press into both feet and gently peel the hips off the earth into a bridge. And then exhale to slowly lower one vertebrae at a time all the way back down. And take your time with these. There's no point in rushing. Inhale, pressing the feet. Slowly, slowly lift the spine up off the ground, one vertebrae at a time. And then exhale to slowly roll back down. It doesn't really matter how high you get. It doesn't matter how fast you go. The point is to feel the feet, to press down so hard that the hips lift, that the back lifts. You can press into the ground with the hands as well, if you like. And then slowly, with control, with the exhale, lower back down. Lovely. All right, it is time to think about sitting up and getting out of bed. So roll onto your favorite side, and we're going to do this really slowly, really deliberately, using a hand to press in to help you really feel into your body. There's no rush. Sometimes we think we have to just go, 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 but I'm inviting you to take your time here and to dangle the legs off the edge of the bed, to take stock. How are you feeling today? Is there any part of your body that's still tense or tight or feels, like it's not quite ready to wake up? And then I invite you to just shake a little bit into it, wiggle a little bit, wiggle into your hips, wiggle into your shoulders, wiggle into your legs and your toes. Your bonus points if you can smile while you're doing it. There's a lot of benefits to shaking, to dancing, to moving, to just getting the energy pulsing through your body. And so it's a nice way to just tell your body, okay, we can be relaxed. We don't have to be rigid and tight and precise. We can be a little bit loosey-goosey. All right, and so before we just rush out of bed, let's come back into that idea of pressing the feet into the ground. I'm going to press with the right. Maybe I lift the left toes to remind me. And then I'm going to press into the left and maybe lift the right toes. So I'm alternating which leg is doing the work and which leg feels really light and airy. Alternating, pressing into the left, let the right lift, pressing into the right, let the left lift. And maybe it gets to the point where you're lifting the foot totally up a couple inches off the ground as a little mini march. Or maybe you keep the toes on the ground with the other foot. It's kind of up to you and how you feel today. We'll do one more on each side. And then now that we are up, we can do a little more with our arms, which is nice. So we'll start with just some shoulder rolls here, getting some of the kinks out of the neck. Take your time. Let it be luxurious. Let it be slow. You can involve the whole arms if you like. You can involve the elbows. You can do really big arm circles if that feels good in your body today. Just greeting the morning and feeling the back, the neck, the shoulders all moving, kind of undulating together, and then switching directions. So these can be, again, as slow or as fast as feels good in your body, and as big or as small as feels good to you today. There's no real benefit in going above and beyond what is comfortable for you. You're going to get the most benefit from feeling aligned with what your body wants to do and what you're asking your body to do. We ask our bodies to do a whole bunch of things over the course of the day that maybe they don't want to do. So why not give your body a few minutes before you get up of just asking it, what would feel good to you? And from the shoulder circles, we're going to move down to do some hip circles here. So similar to what we were doing on our back with the knees, but this time seated, a little bit of a balance test going in one direction. And then when you get back to where you started from, going back in the other direction. Taking your time, there's no rush. And then coming back into a nice tall seat, and we'll bring the right arm across and stretch the shoulder. You can hold on to the wrist, you could bend your elbow, you could hang on above the elbow. Again, just try not to put too much pressure right onto the joint. Don't forget to breathe. And then we'll bring the right arm up overhead and give ourselves a little pat on the back. And this might already feel like enough. If you want a little extra, you can use the left hand to give it a tiny bit more, a deeper stretch, more of a stretch. And breathe into that arm. And then bring the arm up and down. You can shake it out if that feels good. And we'll come into the left side, opening up the left, reaching, and then bringing the left arm across. And again, you could grab for opposite wrist. You could bend the elbow and hook the arm beneath the elbow or above the elbow, whatever feels good to you today. And again, let it be easy. Let the breath come easily. Sometimes that's a good measure of whether or not we're too deep into a pose. If the breath stops, if it's hard to breathe, maybe we need to relax a little bit until we can be doing the posture while also breathing nice and slowly, deeply, fully. And then we'll let go with the opposite hand, reaching the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then give yourself a pat on the back on this side. And if you want a little extra, using the right hand to just give a tiny little bit of resistance, not too much. Feel the stretch, breathing into the underside of the left arm. And then letting that go, and you can shake out the left side. And we'll just do a few seated cat-cows, and then we'll get ready to stand up and start the day. So when we do our seated cat-cows, I like to have my hands on my thighs, tucking the chin to the chest and rounding the spine into a Halloween cat, and then pulling the sternum through the shoulders, looking up. Thinking about those pelvic tilts that we were doing while we were laying down, we're going to tip the pelvis in the same way to come from our cat pose into our cow pose. We can link this to the breath Exhaling into cat, and inhaling into cow. We'll do one more round like this. And then you can come into your nice tall mountain pose. And we're going to do one last posture to kind of help us get into this idea. We're going to stand up and start the day. And that's our chair pose. And so with chair pose, we'll press the feet directly into the ground. And we're going to maybe lift the bum. Maybe we just have some hands straight out and we're thinking about just pushing the weight into the feet. Maybe the arms are getting too tired, then just take a break, take a rest, breathe. And then we'll press into the feet, the hips go back, the arms come forward. And then relax, take a break. And maybe, like I said, maybe the hips come up off of where you are. And then you come back down. And we'll do one more chair, pressing the feet into the ground, pressing the bum back, using the arms to counterbalance. Maybe we stand up. It's great to incorporate lots of little stretches and movements all throughout your day, but it's especially nice to set aside 15-20 minutes in the morning when you first wake up to get your body moving, to lubricate the joints, and to get yourself in the right mindset to start your day on a good foot. So if you made an intention in the beginning of our time together, call it back. Thank the universe for putting that idea, that intention into your mind, and see if you can hold it gently throughout your day. Have a great one. Namaste.